This is not a test. This is not a test. I don't know if you can hear me. This is not a test. This is not a test. I don't know if you can hear me.
while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
This is not a test.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and can will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have them present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questionings if you wish. All right. You good, dude?
Good evening. Good evening, you good dudes. Welcome in. It is Tuesday, February the 24th. It is 7:30 Central Standard Time. Good to see everybody. Glad to see people found the emojis. Welcome in, everyone. I'm good, dude. I hope you're good, dude. If you're over in the vertical, do me a favor, double click that button and give us a like. If you're over here in the horizontal, if you would do the same, like. Take this opportunity to subscribe if you would like to. If you would like to help the channel, memberships are a good way to do that. Gifting, we make sure that you have your opted in membership gifting so that if we have a lovely donor, you are able to receive that. It's your hairdresser's birthday. Happy birthday, hairdressers. A duck invasion. Welcome in from across the pond and local Rubber Ramada. Thank you. You responded like you were speaking to me. It is so good to see all of you. So my original plan tonight was to be introducing you to my face and being on camera for the first time. But the reason that I am not is my grandmother went to the hospital, to the emergency room this afternoon. And so I just got home about an hour ago, and I wanted to make sure that I did not miss this live. Hey, Scratch, glad you made it over to the horizontal. Anybody who wants to drop the link over in, actually, I can do that, I think. Drop the link over here in vertical. If you'd like to join us in horizontal, feel free, or hang out over here, either or. I adore having you over wherever you're at. Hi, everybody. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Bellas. Southern Cat. You're good, Rubber. It's chill over there, Sweet Pea. Look at these new emojis. What do you guys think? Thank you, Southern. I appreciate that. She looks like she was dragged through a hedge backwards and forwards. Currently doesn't wish to scare everyone. I agree. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So usually I say hi to everybody and all that kind of good stuff. It kind of feels weird doing that at the beginning of this live tonight. And that's because we're going into a subject that is extremely heavy, extremely intense, if you want to say it that way. I would say it's extremely intense. All right. Hannah's already getting us cutting it up. All right, I'm going to close out the vertical because I know I got people over there to take care of the good stuff. And that way I can keep my windows open. Bless you, Sweet Pea.
Sorry, thank you.
Bless you. Yes, trigger warning. Definitely trigger warning. Look at those emojis. So we can still throw the voodoo doll, but now it's neon. It's so cool. I just love it. I love it. Thank you very much, Rubber. I appreciate that. All right. Let me close this out and let's just get started with the topic. So did you guys see what the title of the live was? Discord 764 Network Exposed. FBI complaint on Matthew Pysher. That's part of what we're doing tonight. But guys, I had no idea I started opening things and I just swam down this. Yeah, Mr. Firelight trying to sneeze his nose off. Yeah, yeah. He's got that I've been to Iraq and back cough. That's what I call it. That is his I've been to Iraq and back cough. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous for this live. Haven't been nervous for a live in a long time. Okay, Abellas. Yeah, the rabbit holes will suck you in, definitely. Jenny Jen, thank you for being a member for 14 whole entire months. Protect your peace, friends, and thank you very much for always being here, Jenny. I really, really, and all that. Okay, M&Ms. I really appreciate you. Okay, thank you. You're hungry? I just delivered a pizza, so I have Jenny share with you. You're always nervous when you go live? Oh, gosh. This topic is crazy. It's part of it. Kitty, thank you. All right. I think I've got everything all pulled up that we're going to need. I got to put on my big girl brain for this tonight. I got to put on my big girl brain. Move all this stuff over here. We don't fall down rabbit holes. We dive head first. You are not lying. You are not lying. Okay. All right. Let me pull my head out of my ass here and get started. So I started researching what they call the 764 network. Okay. And it's very dark and it's a very complex ecosystem that is referred to by the law enforcement team and the people that are researching this as I'm live, Lori. Hi. You know him personally? Oh my gosh. I don't know whether to say I'm sorry or I'm not sure. But my assumption is that you're talking about Matthew. I'm sorry. In some ways, I'm sorry. In some ways, I'm not. Maybe you know him as a person that has more integrity than what they're showing out here. So you'll have to let me know. Hey, Angel, nice to see you. So glad you're here. Hey, Abraham, nice to see you. Welcome in. So the network isn't just like a single group, but it's kind of like a decentralized alliance of some subgroups, like different types of subgroups that focus on cyber crimes and some types of violent extremism and exploitation of mostly minors. So he's your best friend's older brother. Gosh, that must be very difficult for you. Must be very difficult for you, Lori. Southern Cat's already coming in with what we know is going to be a demonetized stream. So she's helping right away for the $9.99 super sticker. And I am so grateful. Thank you so very much, Southern Cats, for supporting the channel as always. I appreciate you. Yeah, even before I even turned on the monetization for the stream. Before I turn on the monetization for the stream, it's like limited. It's going to be limited. So yeah, wait, the network catches them or commits them. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Rubber. I appreciate that. Welcome the new subscribers, members, visitors, and lurkers. So I guess what we got to do is we got to go back to the origin and we've got to figure out what 764 is. Okay. We're going to start with that. We're going to start from the very beginning so we know what we're talking about and why we're talking about the cyber crimes that are involved with this particular person, the extremism that's behind the group, and what can be also labeled as quote unquote a cult, and the exploitation of the minors over the last couple of years. So that's where we're going to start. Let me pull this up here so you guys can read along with me. Is anybody familiar with 764 and what it means and what they're about before I get started and put all this information out here? Hi, Abraham. Okay, this is going to be a content warning. I'm going to give it once, and of course, the moderators drop the warning throughout the chat. But I'm going to say that this is on my behalf. I have never been involved with 764. I don't know anybody personally myself. I have no idea before today what this group was about. All of the content is going to fall under fair use for the purpose of entertainment, commentary, research purposes, education for today. All the opinions on this panel are going to be mine. Unless there's a panel guest up here, then they're in charge of their opinions. Anything that you state out into the comments may be clipped or used or perverted into something else. So just be very aware of what you're saying in the comments down below. And other than that, have fun. Have fun with learning with me and helping teach me. And you're familiar with, okay. Well, I'm going to kind of be learning with you guys as I go, even though I did study some of the things and the origins of it. So it originally was established in 2021. This is crazy to me. 2021 by Bradley Cadenhead. He was 15 years old. 15 years old at the time. You've heard of it and know it's not good. That's about it. Yeah, me too. That's where I started at anyway. My original plan was to go through Matthew Pysher and what it was that he was arrested for and what he's facing and the charges that he's facing. They had to rescue a 13-year-old girl from Castaic. I can't hardly say that name properly. Castaic, California. I'm sorry if I butcher that. From this 18-year-old boy. His name is Matthew Pysher, and he's from Pennsylvania. And he is accused of targeting her online as part of the 764 group. So they had to use both local and federal law enforcement to get this girl back. They found them in a hotel room or motel room. I think there is a difference. And originally the messaging for this girl and him 2 months before they were found in this motel room was started on Discord. That's the basis of the story that I started studying, and that's the basis of where we'll go when we get to his federal complaint and what he's being indicted for. Nugget, Sweet Pea, thank you. I've got too many windows open for you to be up here with me. Go on. So that was the origin of where I initially started all of this. But what I want to talk about, and most importantly, is getting to the basics of why we're talking about it. Now, let me open up that page so that you guys can read along with me. Bloop. That way you're not just looking at a blank screen. And hopefully next time I come online, you'll be able to see me person to person and all of the flaws and mean looks about me. Kitty definitely want to help run the stream. Definitely. Abraham, yeah, we're wanting to know how your Etsy's going. Your Etsy shop is open, and I know that there's been a few people that have ordered from it, and I am super excited about that. Anybody who has Abraham's link for both his channel and his Etsy, go ahead and drop that in the chat. I'd be glad to share that out. I'm very excited. Very excited about that. Hi, Indy. So good to see you. Thank you guys for using the new emojis. How exciting. Okay, so the very first thing that I ran into was, as I stated, the network was formally established formally established in 2021 by Bradley Cadenhead. He was a 15-year-old from Stephenville, Texas, not far from where I'm at now. He operated online under the alias Felix. Am I muted? Can you hear me? Throw some voodoo dolls in chat if you can hear me. Yes? Now we can? Okay. Dang, I was just talking away. Okay, you can hear me now. I wonder what happened. Yeah, voodoo dolls, voodoo dolls. Thank you. Literally. Thank you, Teresa. I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean? What's happening? So I always like to make that a little bit bigger when we're reading together so that you guys can see that as well. So it says this came out in August 28th of 2025. And it says for years at the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, reports to our cyber tip line have revealed the extreme and graphic ways children are enticed online for sexual and financial purposes. Now, violent online groups, including one of the most prominent, known as 764, are producing some of the most sadistic online enticing reports we've ever seen. One mother told NCMEC a violent group member made her daughter cut its screen name into her arm with a razor blade, then told her she was a good girl and that they love her. Her mother couldn't believe her daughter's response. I love you too. These guys are very scary, the mother told NCMEC. Just the power they have over my daughter is mind-blowing. Please help. These violent groups target kids on publicly available message platforms, including Discord, Roblox, and gaming sites. Initially, they befriend them and initiate an online relationship. Then they force them to record or live stream acts of harm against themselves and others. Yeah, y'all are going to be using the voodoo doll tonight. Offenders will often target vulnerable children who already self-harm or have eating or other disorders. So they go after children or minors or young adults even that have some sort of mental health issue. Yeah, who would have guessed Southern Roblox was on the list? Offenders will self-harm, eating, other disorders. Sometimes they'll offer the child money or other types of online currency in exchange for producing child sexual abuse material, also known as CSAM, for self-harming videos. Their demands are shocking and include ordering children to cut themselves, create CSAM, sexually exploit other children, including their siblings, to harm their own animals, to harm animals of the neighborhood, which is in some of this paperwork, and take their own lives. Some of them have been known to take their own lives while live streaming. Let me go ahead and put that on Do Not Disturb. In one cyber tip report, the suspect offered money or other types of online currency in exchange for CSAM. Basically, it all started out with him asking her to send him stuff in return for Robux, the digital currency on Roblox, and escalated into him asking her to cut herself, with him even saying, the deeper, the more you earn. If they don't comply, they threaten to harm their families, share their explicit photos on the internet with everyone they know, and make fake 911 calls to send law enforcement racing to their homes. Notice swatting. The footage of these acts is then circulated among members to extort victims further and exert control over them. I do too, Orange. Orange says, I feel so bad for these kids. I talk to mine about online danger so much that they can repeat my warnings like a record. Have you heard that? Is that a possibility? I guess that is a possibility. Abraham says, oh, hell no. I'm going to take that banner off. You guys are grown, so I don't think I need to tell you again. Thank you very much for dropping that, Cindy. I really appreciate you. So this shows a victim demographic. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. See if you guys can see this. This is the victim's age. 10 and under is at about 4%. 11 to 13 is about 21%. And our smart young adults and teenagers between the 14 and 18 year range, 75% of the victims. The gender, 16% is male, 84% are female. Does that surprise anybody at all that the females are more prominent or more prone to fall for these types of things? Or that these incidents has happened more to females? Yeah, I agree. Some of them are getting put away. We're gonna get to that. But so originally, the guy that operated under the name Felix, he started 764, and it was derived from 3 digits of the zip code from his hometown, 76401 and 76402, which is the Stephenville, Texas zip codes. So he just shortened it and called it 764. Before starting 764, Caden Head was a member of an online community called Cult, spelled CVLT. Scratch. Did you hear that? CVLT. That was founded in 2019. Cult focused on similar activities to 764, including the sextortion and the promotion of the extremist ideologies. We're going to talk about a few of those things too. So, you are grown. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know it doesn't feel like it sometimes. Yeah, it's not surprising. To me, it's not surprising. The young females are a lot more impressionable at that age. Thank you very much for dropping that. I appreciate that, Cindy. Nugget, I need my hand, and I have got to move the mouse. I love you, but you're going to have to get down. It's definitely concerning. So in 2024, they received more than 1,300. Can you hear me? Okay. 1,300 reports with a nexus to a violent online group, a substantial increase from the previous 2 years when we started tracking this new crime. During the first 6 months of the year, they've had over 1,000 reports. That was over at the beginning of 2024. So based on the available data from the reports, most victims of the violent groups were girls between the age of 14 and 17, and some of them as young as 10. Offenders in this case were predominantly males and included both adults and minors. Nugget, yes. She's a pain in the cattail. I'm gonna have to put her down. You guys are probably gonna hear her scream at me for moving her. Come on. Oh, stop it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Baby, come get her and put her put this little loaf over there by you on your desk. Did you? Okay, I'll definitely go look at that content. Thank you very much. She's a little brat. Most of the reports from this crime to our cyber tip line.
Come here, you fat little shit.
The designated place in the U.S., which is the cyber tip line, reports suspected online child sex exploitation were submitted by the public. However, most of the millions of reports to the cyber tip line each year are made by social media companies, suggesting that tech is behind the curve in spotting and reporting these relatively new crimes. Sure. Oh, Lord. I am. I'm leaving her alone. She's going over there to his desk, so hopefully she'll chill. Oh, is she? Okay, good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Rubber. So this is where they start talking about the 7-6 group was prominently derived by the zip code 764 for Stephenville, Texas, by Bradley Cadenhead. He was a bullied 15-year-old teenager himself, living there in Stephenville when he created the network in 2021. He was eventually prosecuted and sentenced in 2023 to 80 years in prison. I have not gone through Bradley's case. I think I'm going to, because I would like to see what happened, where it happened, especially since he was the founder of this entire network that still exists, even though he has been sentenced to 80 years. He's gone upriver, and we're still talking about other people that are having the same issues and extorting children for the same thing. While 764 was one of the first, other violent extremist groups are vying to become the worst of the worst, according to Fallon McNulty, who oversees the cyber tip line. Their motivation: controlling, degrading, causing pain to children, and outdoing other violent groups. That's what's so terrifying about it. how do you combat this? Because a lot of this is happening online. A lot of this is happening online. A lot of this is happening in your children's phones. A lot of this is happening in their tablets. Federal law enforcement has declared the Global 764 Network a terrorist organization. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police also identify it as an ideological violent extremist network. Law enforcement has had some success in court, including the case against Richard Densmore, a 47-year-old Michigan man and member of 764 known as Rabid, who was sentenced in February for child sexual exploitation. There's another name in the game that I'm going to have to explore. I have not yet. The only one I have gone through is Matthew. Richard Densmore will spend the next 30 years in federal prison for sexually exploiting a child and for his role in creating 764's online networks that coerce children into recording themselves engaging in self-harm, sexually explicit acts, and violence. No child should have to experience this heinous abuse. I agree with that. They issue tablets, iPads for schools. Yep. Well, I don't know. Maybe they should go back to books. That's what we had, didn't it? Didn't it work for us? Just saying. Just saying. Hey, Norma, welcome in. Yes, you can find me on all the platforms. Just look through the link tree. You can find me on Instagram, X, Facebook, all kinds of places. All kinds of places. Thank you very much for that, Hannah. Right? Whoop whoop for the RCMP. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about, the second part of that here. We're going to skip that. We're going to go over here now. Close that out. Thank you very much for that. So that's some of the origins. Kind of wanted to get that out of the way a little bit. And then let's go to this video instead first. This video is from Click on Detroit. It's a local news station, and they're going to talk about what the 764 network is and the different parts of how it works, what the goal is. Then they're going to talk about something that's going to be kind of hard to hear, so be very careful. Like I said, animal crushing, gore bombing, and some of the other things. They're going to talk a little bit about the Richard Densmore case, the FBI involvement. So we're going to go over this video and talk about it and discuss. Like I said, please. Hi, Kim. Welcome in. Please protect your peace and just know that, like I said, this is hard, but I definitely want to talk about it because we hear about it, but we don't really talk about it. Does that make sense? I mean, I've heard about it a little bit in the news, but I haven't heard any of my favorite true crime creators talking about this. We've talked a lot about Roblox and the predators that are out there extorting our children, but we haven't really talked about where it comes from. Like, how do they get a hold of our children? And that's kind of where I was on this. I was like, how did this happen? Where did this start at? Let me know if you can hear the video, please.
The 764 network, for someone who's never heard of it, how would you describe it?
Yeah,
to people?
so basically the 764 network is comprised of individuals who all meet online. They're part of a broader network of online violent groups who engage in criminal activity that includes and is primarily focused on extorting our nation's most vulnerable populations, to include the youth and other at-risk individuals. So a lot of these members typically will just go into online chat forums, social media platforms, gaming platforms, identify victims, befriend them, and then basically earn their trust to a point where they are convinced to share either sexually explicit material of themselves or other acts of criminal activity, to include harming family pets, in order to keep the trust of the person they've met online. These perpetrators will then extort these kids by saying, I will send this to your family, to your friends, unless you provide me with more content. So there's an escalation in behavior when we're talking about these network members, to the point where these kids want to remain friends or now feel backed into a corner. So they will produce the content at the request of their victimizer.
So as a grown adult, when I hear this, I think to myself, there's no way in the world that I would let this happen as a grown adult, right? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't let this happen. And so we always tell ourselves we're teaching our kids not to produce this type of content or don't. But in every avenue, every app that I see, Nugget, go away, love. I'm sorry. In every app I see, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Shorts, in every app I see, there's some aspect of sexualization of younger and younger human beings as I go through each app. There's no way I can scroll in any algorithm on any of those apps and not run into something that is potentially over sexualizing a younger male or female. It be it in the way they dance. She's just trying to help. I know. Be it in the way they dance, be it in the way that they act, the way they speak, the way they talk. It's out there for all of our children to see all of the time. It's on every television show. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, Scratch brought that up. I really appreciate it. We're going to talk about it because the D4VD and the CVLT cult have an undertone there that we haven't got to cover yet. But according to Strategic, goodness. Yeah, I haven't been over there to watch that. Did Strategic Eyes cover 764? That's amazing. We'll definitely have to check that out. But this is just according to what I see with my own eyes. And I'm not even in the high schools. My son is 25 years old, but even back in the day, everything that he went through, he refuses to get certain apps because they push things on him. He doesn't like how they push certain things in the algorithm. And I just feel like everywhere I turn, I see it as a a grown woman. I know that our children are seeing this. Orange says, I think it's important to remember that no matter how smart someone is, everyone can be manipulated. I don't disagree with that. I just think to myself, how in the world, I wouldn't let this happen to me. But it does. It does happen. It does happen. Thank you very much, Scratch. I appreciate that. I'll have to look that up.
Look what you've done.
Okay.
Look what you've done. Look what you've done.
You don't have to be grown if you don't want. No, you don't have to. Nugget got mad and now he's over there laying. Oh, she's over there laying on my husband. All mad, telling on me. Sorry. So 764, they frequently describe it as nihilistic, violent, extremist network. A nihilistic, violent, extremist network. Now, I'm not a psychologist, and I have my own opinions on things, but I like to look things up. So the first thing I did, I'll have to take this video off. We'll come back to it. The first thing that I had to do was look up what nihilism meant. Hello? Are you going to let me see it? Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm going to make this bigger here. And this is, I was trying to figure out what makes these things so dangerous, right? What type of ideologies does 764 come from? Where does it begin at? And what happens in these networks to make this all come together? Also hidden apps that, yes, I know. So scary. So scary. So nihilism, from the Latin nihil, meaning nothing, is a philosophical doctrine that suggests the lack of belief in one or more reputedly meaningful aspects of life. Most commonly, nihilists argue that life is without objective meaning, purpose, or intrinsic value. Did I? Okay. Oh, I'll go back, Orange. Thank you. I'll go back. Most commonly, nihilists agree or argue that life is without objective meaning, purpose, or intrinsic value. Moral nihilists assert that there is no inherent morality and that accepted moral values are abstractly contrived. Nihilism may also take epistemological, you know how to say those words better than I do. Go ahead. Epistemological, ontological, or metaphysical forms, meaning respectively that in some aspect knowledge is not possible or reality does not actually exist. So they blend several ideologies. It's all falls under the blanket of a nihilistic, violent, extremist network, but they use other things underneath that in order to push their philosophy on other people, the things that hit you differently out of different people. Accelerationism, that's people who believe that like society should be pushed to a total collapse through chaos and violence type of thing. So they use accelerationism. The Order of Nine Angles, it's like they're a, dare I say, Nazi satanic organization, and they encourage criminal things and the way that things should evolve to criminal, to it's complicated, it's dark. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I'm trying to go by the things that I found online, and I don't want to be too overly philosophical with something that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm kind of having to learn as I go. So, and then misanthropy, which is a no lives matter type philosophy. And that just, they use that to justify the victimization of other people or animals, because no lives matter, then it doesn't really, it doesn't matter. We need to evolve into chaos. No lives matter. And we need to evolve towards chaos and violence. And so that we can have a total collapse of society, meaning we can do whatever we want to anybody, however we want to do it. Does that make sense? Am I making sense without trying to sound all smart or whatever? Let me go back up here and see who we gave birth to. Oh, you. Okay, Orange, thank you so much for being a member for 9 months. It's a guardian baby. You guarding the gates with your baby. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, Orange. All right, let me go back over here. So the network appears mostly on platforms like Discord or Roblox, but they can also hit your kids on Telegram, on places like Kick, the KIK, or the KICK. But the primary hubs for 764 has been Discord and Roblox. Also Minecraft, believe it or not. Minecraft. We go back down here. Bippity boppity boo. How convenient for predators. No lives matter. It took 13 billion years for all of us to be here today, for fuck's sake. I totally agree with you. The mindset of these people blow me away. That's why I'm kind of like sitting here red-faced going, I'm trying not to talk about something that I don't know about because I don't want to get smashed into the ground. But at the same time, on a very normal level, it's not hard to understand that these people want to push us towards chaos and violence because that's what they're pushing our children to. It's not hard to believe that they have some sort of underlying satanic, thought process, and they want to push our kids toward criminal acts as a way to evolve our society. And it's also not hard to believe that there are a lot of people that believe that no lives matter. So that justifies, we could just victimize anybody we want to, including your children, my animals, your animals, and anybody that's on the street. And a lot of that is evident in some of the videos we see just on X, for example. Little children, I say little children, but young men and women who will go up to a grown teacher and treat them the way they do in the classroom. Where are these ideals? Where is all of this coming from? What is the ideology behind it? And it's pretty disturbing, in my opinion. It's pretty disturbing. Hi, Cracker Jacks. Hi, Jackie. So good to see you. I heard somebody say your name earlier. I think it was Granny's watching. Yeah, they're trying to create little psychopaths. So they lure a victim from large like public servers, Roblox, Minecraft, like I said, any of the Discord servers that you run into, and they target the youngest that they can find, the ones that are struggling often with mental health or seeking some sort of belonging. They want to be in a group, they want to be with you, they want to be loved. You laying down? All right, I love you. They want to be loved, they want to be taken care of in ways that they're not getting it from other places in their life. So they use what they call sextortion, and they try to gain compromising images of your children and information about the families so that they're able to blackmail the victim into doing all of these things, self-harming, animal abuse, or producing CSAM. And they use what they call lore books. Does anybody know what a lore book is? Have you guys ever seen a lore book? And that's where we're going to talk about, that's where she's going to talk about it over here, about the gore part of that and using gore lore. And anybody who's followed the D4VD case or the David and Celeste Rivas case has heard a little bit about the baby dog took a butter knife into the bedroom. Oh, interesting. Sorry. Between decluttering, yeah. So he totally threw me off. I thought the dog brought a butter knife into the bedroom. So they use lore books or kind of like gore that is, you could use AI to do it, make things into like abuse material. They use it as a form of currency within the community to rank people or to recruit people. They have generals, they have leaders, they have overseers and offshoots. Quit laughing, Hannah, about the butter knife. There is a knife. There's a knife emoji now. But they use their leaders, and then they have what they call offshoots. It's basically like you're under the 764 window or 764 umbrella, and then underneath that you have 764 Inferno. They're like smaller versions. 676, 6-7. I mean, you guys think that that's funny when your kids come home and they're just like 6-7, and it's all a game until it's not. Until it's called 676 or Harm Nation, which are real law enforcement agencies have labeled this a terrorist, violent, extremist threat group. This dog's trying to make some toast. Boy, she just does whatever she wants to do, that baby dog. She's so great. She's so great. I love her. Thank you, Rubber. Let's go a little bit further into this and we'll talk some more.
Essentially targeting the most vulnerable and then almost sextortion.
Correct. Yeah. And sextortion is a piece of it. A lot of the criminal activity can vary just depending on what part of these networks you're talking about. So specifically, what we as the FBI have seen for these actors are members of these violent networks coercing victims into committing crimes such as swatting, doxing, vandalism, acts of self-harm. Sometimes it escalates to the point of sexually exploiting in life or in real life or online themselves or somebody else. We've seen acts of self-harm, real-world violence to include stabbings, shootings, suicides, and sometimes murder.
And this is just to what? Stay in this network, to fit in, to what? What's the goal of this network here?
Sure. So the motivations of each individual within these networks is pretty personalized. It can be a personalized grievance, it can be a collective grievance, but basically it varies group to group. So these members find each other based off of shared grievances or shared content preferences. But the goal ultimately for a lot of these groups is prominence within the network or clout. So the more...
So really, it's nothing. It's nothing. The goal is absolutely fucking nothing. Because exactly what I was thinking in my head. There's not much of a difference, right? In my head. I'm hearing it. I'm seeing it. I'm thinking the same thing you are. It's not almost. It sounds like straight out sextortion. And for what? And for what? Basically, she's saying to get clout. What is clout, though? What do you do with it? What do you do with your clout? when you're online and all you're doing is extorting people, making them harm themselves or their families around them or their pets? What do you get out of that besides the internalization, like the gratitude that you get internally? There's no clout in that.
Stream the content, the more notoriety you gain in these spaces. A lot of these threat actors are looking for a space to belong when they join these communities. So feeling that acceptance by other people engaging in the same type of behavior can be a pretty big motivator for these threat actors.
And then it sounds like they're essentially desensitizing these vulnerable youth to these violent acts.
Correct.
That was the word I was looking for earlier that my son uses. So every time you go on one of these places in Discord or like I said, any of these social media apps or even on the TV, we're all desensitized by the things that we see because it's just so normal. It's just so normal to see everything. I'm not offended by boobs. I'm not offended by boobs hanging out to a certain degree. I'm not offended by any of that. There are people I know that are offended by that. Maybe is that make me desensitized? Am I desensitized by what I've seen? I'm not offended by people who go to strip clubs. I don't care what you do with your lives, but there are many people that are. So am I desensitized by that because I've just seen it in my lifetime? Like, okay, it is what it is. You know, it's so, I don't know. It's woo. Yeah, Teresa. Yeah, that's a great point. Yep. Jackie's like, what the fuck did I walk into? Oh, goodness.
So the desensitization process includes a lot of things like gore bombing, which is a tactic that some of these groups will use, where they'll share really extreme videos or GIFs or pictures of gore to include human gore or animal crushing in order to desensitize their victims to ideally have them engage in that activity down the road. So
I see that a lot in Reddit. Have you guys ever frequented Reddit and you're looking for something, it may be a true crime case, and you're just kind of like, you've just run into photos. The newest one that I can think of, the Idaho 4 situation. These are 4 young college students that were brutally murdered in their home by convicted killer Brian Koberger. At this point, we know a lot more details now than we did when he took a plea deal. He never went to court. We didn't see all of these things, but the judge took all of the information and is allowing that to come out via FOIAs and then putting it out onto to websites. And then, so we got photo dumps, and these photo dumps were badly redacted. They just flat out were badly redacted. Oh, thank you very much, allegedly speculating. I appreciate that. So these photos were badly redacted. And so when I went to go look for the Idaho 4 photos, what I ended up finding were things that were badly redacted, things that probably wouldn't normally be, you know, something. But then you have this morbid curiosity, and so you continue to go through it. So I feel like I've been desensitized in that space, in the true crime space, because you go over these things over and over and over. I don't ever want to forget where I come from and the fact that I have a heart for children and the things like that that affect me. But I'm definitely desensitized by the types of photos that come out. So I can see how gore bombing could be easily taken as a desensitization method for children or for these younger people, even for adults. Even for adults. Me and my grandson is about to be fighting. He won't stop kicking. He's asleep and I can't move without him kicking me. This is what you do. You take your foot, you push him off the bed. Kim, that's too cute. I didn't know you were live, and I was on the other account and I subbed. Well, I appreciate that. I really appreciate you. Think about, David, the desensitized gore and the cult-like following is scary. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that Discord, I mean, we have a whole live full of what happened in that Discord, and it was absolutely 100% on point to what this lady is talking about. 100%. 100%. I'll be back tomorrow. I needed a break and to do research, and I apologize for being gone. Well, we appreciate you. I do see videos coming out. We do see videos coming out. I'm picturing that now that she's gone all saggy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What? What the heck, Hannah? Oh, Sarah Ferguson now makes her money upside down on a stripper pole. True story. Does she really? Interesting. But of course, it's different when it's kids walking around half naked. Yes, I agree with that as well. I don't think that that's okay. Yeah, just in a castle. Yeah, we are all here for you. A lady, I like that. All right, let's go a little bit further.
Yeah, it's pretty specific.
And I hate to even think when you hear animal crushing, could you define that? I mean, I'd never heard this before until recently.
Yep. So I don't have the statute in front of me, but animal crushing is basically defined as intentional harm, impaling, burning, or torture of a live animal. And part of the statute does cover the dissemination of such material. So sending the videos and the GIFs does fall under that federal statute.
And then gore bombing, you send it out to a bunch of people.
Yep. So in order to maximize viewership, we do see threat actors repeatedly sending instances of gore through media, either photos, videos, or GIFs, repeatedly in quick succession to get as many people within a chat group, for example, to see it.
Where does the FBI see these groups active?
So the FBI sees these groups active in anywhere that basically has a communication function. Most predominantly, these threat actors are kind of congregating where they think they can find victims, so spaces that younger populations are frequenting. So this includes social media platforms, this includes gaming platforms, online forums, and truly anything that has a chat function.
So how do we keep our families safe? How do we keep our kids safe? Okay, Rubber, be safe. How do we keep our kids safe? What do we do? Because we're already to that point where we have federal statutes that are supposed to protect. We have federal statutes that grab us at the end when something has already happened, right? So something has already happened. You have the statute that says, okay, you sent this, you sent that, you sent this, so this is what we're going to do. This is the punishment. But what do we do to prevent? Where's the preventative? The preventative. I know, Jess. I know you do, love. Just in case anybody's in that area, there's been a child abduction from Austin, Texas. The suspect vehicle is a red 2017 Ford Mustang with Texas license plates BVK 2712. The missing child is Jaslyn Anzora, 12-year-old white female. Suspect is Henry Mejia, 18-year-old white male. Call Travis County Sheriff's Office with information, or if you see them, please call 911. Again, that is a 2017 Ford Mustang with Texas license plates VVK2712, last seen in Austin, Texas. All right, let's go a little further.
What ages? What ages are we talking about? How young? How old? What ethnicities? What genders?
So for the perpetrators of the violence themselves, they're typically males under the age of 25, but we have seen perpetrators of all ages, of all genders, of all socioeconomic backgrounds, of all ethnicities. There's a trend of the under 25, but it can be anybody. And in terms of victims, most often those victimized are underage females. But again, anybody can become a victim to these networks. And so we've seen adults, we've seen men, women, children, regardless of ethnicity, all over the world.
There was the Richard Dinsmore case. Can you give us any specifics on that and how that case was so, I don't know, was it kind of a turning point?
For Michigan, yeah, I think.
For Michigan?
Yeah, I think so. So Richard Dinsmore was one of the more active members of 764 back in the day. He was recently sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for sexual exploitation of a minor female. He had a pretty significant online presence, and his activity in the group definitely drew our attention to the problem here in Michigan specifically.
So what really strikes me in this particular conversation that they're having is that We know that this original 764 started with a 15-year-old bullied teenage boy named Bradley. But would it have taken off? Would it have gone any further? Would it have progressed to the point that it is now had somebody like Richard Dinsmore not being 25 years old and in the know and a little bit older, not taken over or continued the process as an adult? Like, where would it have, you know what I'm saying? Like an adult or somebody that was more in the know just picked it up. And they're like, I'll hold the torch for you, buddy, while you go and serve 80 years in prison as a 15-year-old boy. Like, I got you, man. I'll get it. Jackie said, this is bloody worrying for anyone with teenagers these days. Online is particularly scary, and who can get access to vulnerable young people? Yeah, I agree. Okay, Hannah, hurry back.
Typically.
What kinds of branches of the FBI are kind of involved with this, and how has it ramped up in the last few years?
Sure. So these cases, as they relate to 764 and associated networks, are kind of, they're looked at on a case-by-case basis. So in instances where these threat actors are committing these acts to further a socio-political goal, they are being investigated through the counterterrorism lens here at the FBI. Not all members engage in this type of activity or join these groups with an ideology in mind and purely engage in this behavior for either sexual gratification, for notoriety, for a sense of belonging. And as such, those cases are typically investigated as criminal cases specifically.
But how do they know the difference? How do they know the difference between somebody who's involved, who wants to teach accelerationism and supremacy, and as we talked about earlier, the type of no lives matter ideology? How do we know the difference? Because somebody's 15 years old and they're not particularly, I don't know, accelerationism, like they or people who are talking about preservation of a certain race, and they use conspiracy theorism, and they believe that certain race group are under threat, and we have to target other groups through other means. You know, like, how did they know that this 15-year-old hasn't already been trained to the? Ugh. I'm annoyed. My grandson says that. Okay, calm down, and it's so damn funny. That's too cute. My 14-year-old granddaughter got jumped in school yesterday for reporting bullying to the principal. She's physically okay, but emotionally not so much. Oh yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay. Yeah, I agree. Press charges. It's so hard. It's so hard though, because I mean, look, guys, you have this. She's 14. She's either in middle school or just starting high school, and the daughter's gonna press charges, and then what happens? It sucks, man, because then she's a target no matter what, because she's a snitch. I hate this type of society, man. I hate where we're headed. It's definitely assault. You got to be able to defend your kid. Your kids got to be able to defend themselves. You've got to be able to defend your family. I'm sorry, Sydney. I'm so freaking sorry. She's in 8th grade, so she hasn't even made it to so then she's got to spend the next 4 years in high school with that target on her back for reporting bullying in the first place, of which she should do. You need to find you an MC to go to the school with you, so they walk down the halls with her. Oh yeah, it is tough. She did the right thing. Yeah, she did. She did the right thing. Yeah, young people are developing their identity at that age and can be easily manipulated, especially if they don't fit in. I can see how this could happen very easily. I can see how it could happen. I just don't know what to do about it. We've got laws to take care of what happens after. What are we going to do about the befores? Like this, reporting bullying. And then you get your ass kicked because you did the right thing? Where do we go from here?
So it really is a case-by-case basis depending on the threat actor themselves.
Okay. And like you said before, this isn't just a Michigan issue, a national issue. This is a global issue. How difficult is this to kind of tackle?
Yep. So just given the nature of the internet and how global that is as a resource, we see this activity, both victims and subjects, across the world. And as such, we're in lockstep with our international partners in combating specifically this issue. We are constantly collaborating with them to identify and disrupt these networks, sharing information appropriately in order to make sure that these individuals are held legally responsible for the crimes that they are committing.
And people always think, oh, it's just on the dark web. It's just on the dark web. That's not true.
That is not true. This is on the very real internet that you have in your home.
And it's not something that you necessarily need to search, but like you said, these are in apps and online forums that children use.
Children use, correct. So these threat actors will basically infiltrate these spaces and pretend to befriend their children victims oftentimes. So in some cases, we've seen them pretend to be like a similarly aged individual in order to gain the trust of their victim. Through the process, basically, they often, after gaining the trust of their victims, they will request photos and videos of these kids performing either sexually explicit acts or harm against family pets, basically to exert more control over these populations.
Where are the parents when this stuff is happening? I guess if you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to Charlie's house for the weekend, and Charlie's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Bobby's house for the weekend, and then where are they? You know, I don't know if that is it a parental thing? Is it the parents? I mean, we're watching trials right now where the parents are on trial for providing their children with firearms, and then they end up shooting the schools. You know, we're watching that happen. So their parents are taking, you know, they're having to take some responsibility in that. Bella says, my thoughts. Kids need the village to raise them again. We had extended families in past generations. Today's kids have the internet. That's not good at all. I agree. I wish we could go backwards, Abellas. I so wish we could go backwards. How do they get away with it? Are there no laws, for fuck's sake? I mean, there are, but the laws are intended to crack down on the back end. We're going to watch what CBS put out that Capitol Hill has said about this too. I don't know if it works worldwide, but in the UK, Discord just introduced photo ID authentication. Yes, they did here as well. A lot of people are fleeing. Snapchat, TikTok, and I mean, there's a lot of places that don't require you. Telegram and WhatsApp and all that stuff where people can talk, trade gifts, and chat rooms and stuff like that don't all require IDs. Yeah, I agree as well. Almost jumped over the desk in the school after the principal told my son he deserved to be kicked in the private parts. Excuse me? And told you your brain wasn't working? Told you your brain wasn't working? The principal told you your brain wasn't working? He wouldn't have a job today. Would not have a job today.
Threat actors will then take these pictures and videos that have been provided by the victim and make them into compilations sometimes online, and then share those within their networks in order to gain that notoriety within their own networks. It's a very content-driven threat activity that we're talking about.
And with online being our lives now, what do parents do? What do loved ones do for specifically their children?
That's what I'm saying. What do we do?
What can be done?
Parents should first and foremost be very aware of their child's online activities. They should know who their kids are communicating with online, especially given these threat actors can pose as a friend, right? Parents should take advantage of the parental controls provided to them within specific applications and on social media platforms. In conversations with your kids about this, bringing awareness to these issues with your children is also really important. If you think your child is being victimized by these actors or has some association with these actors, we do encourage parents to reach out to us here at the FBI. They can call 1-800-CALL-FBI to provide a tip. We also have online submissions at tips.fbi.gov, or they can always go to their local field office. So here in Detroit would be a perfect example. We also want to highlight that if you feel like you're in imminent danger, to call 911 and make a report with your local police department.
Oh my goodness. So there really was no smoking gun on what you should do. There isn't one. Figure it out, y'all. Figure it out. All right, let's go to the next one here. Allegedly speculating said even parents that do care, that are unaware it's going on until it blows up. Yeah, I can see that 100% happening. Much like everything that happens with our kids, right? They're really, really good at, compartmentalizing at that age sometimes, and just kind of like, okay, once I get home, I'm a totally different, it's a totally different element in front of mom and dad. So, tomorrow back to it. Today, just eat dinner with parents and we're good to go. Don't show none the wiser. It was a South Philly school. As long as my kids were being bullied and not doing the bullying, they were in the wrong. Wow. Abel says, when I was a kid, adults we didn't know would keep us in line. You didn't act like a little asshole. Someone taught you better. Not saying it was perfect, but it seems we were safer. They use apps like fucking Spotify. Yes, Spotify has a chat feature now. Agreed. Yep. And I have 3 nephews that are all in this age range, from the youngest to the 18-year-old range, and it hurts my heart to think that they could fall into this and I wouldn't be able to see it or save them. It's extremely easy for a teenager to hide this. It's like living a double life when I was a teenager. Well, yeah, we've heard, as we were growing up about you'd go to school with a different pair of pants in your backpack, or we'd go to school with a different color lipstick and accidentally forgot to take it off when you get ready to take the yearbook photo, and then mom sees it 6 months later. True story. Kind of happens, You were that parent that checked up on your kids. They didn't go to friends or anywhere if I wasn't checking on them. My son was a band kid. It was so hard between being a full-time working mother and a mother of a band kid and a full-time tennis player that I would even see him on a weeknight. And then weekends was, he was busy with sports, but there were times when they had downtime that I could see where, I've had to talk to him about things way in the past. He's graduated school before the C-19 virus hit and all that. So, it was a different environment even then, but it's still something that I remember being distinctly aware of, that there were dangerous, there was people with predatory behavior. I also ran a business where I employed a lot of young teenagers for their first jobs all the way up to young adulthood. And we did, particularly with Western Union, for example, ran into some of these kids that were being extorted through different areas, different means that we didn't even have a full grasp of how they could have been doing that, where I've had to call the police myself on that. Well, if I don't send this because I gave them a full frontal picture of my body, they're telling me that they're going to send this to my parents on Facebook, so I have to send them this money. And it was just really heartbreaking, because I have seen that in my own, so I could see even the good kids in the band, I could see it happening. And kids who just want to work and make a little bit of money, and then they get extorted because they go home and they play their game, and somebody in Discord that they're in a gaming server with decides to start gore bombing them and desensitizing them, and just kind of like they get hit. They're like scammers. They're like scammers. They're like us when we get hit as adults in our bank accounts. It's just so easy to fall for the worst. Breaks my heart. Sorry, I kind of squirreled off there. Let me see what you guys are saying. I don't understand why a kid would be on Kick or Telegraph. Granted, I know very little about each except that Kick is used for casual hookups. I mean, Snapchat's not any better. Discord's definitely not any better. Doesn't have to be those avenues. WhatsApp can, they can form whole group activities there. Signal has vanishing text like WhatsApp does, or WhatsApp has vanishing text, but like Snapchat does. My nephew's tracked, although he doesn't know it. He's 13 and my sister is very online savvy. It's good. Like they're rebellious and hormonal, and if there isn't a fight between them and you or them and their siblings, you think all is good, go to bed, go to work. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Leave the house wearing one thing, change behind a tree on the way to school, and then change back on the way home. Yeah, and somebody like scooped a cigarette out of mom's ashtray or something. Oh, your nephew. Yeah, well. You see, in the UK, you can't change clothes. All schools have a uniform and are strict. If you turn up in the wrong shoes or without a tie, they'll either stick you in isolation room or send you home. Some of our strictest boarding schools and Catholic schools here run into some of this stuff too. That easy for parents to miss because teens want to do their own thing by themselves when they get home. Yeah, I agree. Hannah, I went to one school that had uniforms. We all actually liked it. Everyone was equal. Not all states and not all schools wear uniforms. Do you think that they should, Kim? What's your opinion on that?
Welcome back. On Capitol Hill today, Senate committee hears from experts who warn predators are targeting and manipulating young people online. A growing number of reports point to a virtual network of abusers known as 764 who coerce young victims into harming themselves or others. Now, lawmakers have introduced legislation that would make it a federal crime to coerce children into physically harming themselves or others. But in a hearing yesterday, Senator Lindsey Graham said the country has done very little to protect children so far.
Do you all agree that we've, as a nation, miserably failed our children? That we have hearings and we talk and we've done very little to protect them as of this date?
Yes. I agree. Yes.
That's a damning indictment of all of us.
Now, the Senate committee also heard from a mother who testified her son James took his own life after becoming the victim of sextortion online. Tamia Wood says she hopes the legislation would encourage young people to speak up, knowing that the law is on their side.
Look, and you can see there she is. She was there on the football field with him. He was a young football player. Case one, so good to see you. You think uniforms are a great idea? Only schools that wore uniforms when I was in school were Catholic schools. We did not have uniforms as I was growing up either. Case one, I'm just glad you're here. Late, better than never. I'm really appreciative, Lindsey Graham. Yeah. I've dealt with both uniforms and no uniform schools. The uniforms cost more. Yeah, when my son went to school, in certain places we had uniforms when he was younger. When he got up into high school, they did not have uniforms. I do find it to be less of an issue with the girls with the short shorts or having to go, but they wear things in high school now that we would not have been allowed to have. Like Dallas schools are so lackadaisical with tats and piercings and belly tank tops and just all the things that I would have. I mean, I guess it's a progressive nature of, in the evolution of society and all, but it's one of those things where I'm like one of those moms now where I'm like, get off my yard type, mentality. Cause I'm like, where's this coming from? Like, when did this evolve into this? Even my son, when he was going to school, like there were things that, like if you had a certain shorts, you weren't allowed to be there, but they were okay with tattoos and colored hair and earrings and stuff. So it's just evolved so much. Yep. Well, sir, you're the one sitting in office with the power to do something about it. Correct, Abraham? I don't have that boom bop bam thing, but you are right. We had uniforms that were all equal in what clothes we wore, so no judgment. Yep. Orange says, I've heard a few stories like this. It's important that kids also know that no matter what we're their parents are here for them. No judgment, just love and open communication. I think they should wear uniforms. I also got bullied because mom could not afford the best clothes. That sucks, Scratch. I went to school one year with oversized shoes and I looked like a clown. We were just broke like when school started, so I had to wear what I had. But, later on that year I got better shoes. But yeah, I had clown shoes my first couple of weeks in school because my feet grew a certain way over the summer. Even as girls, we grow, over the summer. And when I got ready to start with the shoes that I had, I just couldn't fit in them, so I had to wear clown shoes.
My advice that I would give to parents is to talk to your children about sextortion and any other child exploitation. I don't care what it is. You speak up, you say something, you stand up for yourself, because we can make sure that we have your back no matter what. I would give anything to have my son back.
Oh, gosh.
And if they have to learn, if they have to see James' face, if they have to see my tears, I'm going to make sure that it happens if it means that I can save your grandchildren.
Let's bring in CBS News senior coordinating producer Anna Schechter. Anna, the Justice Department calls 764, quote, one of the most heinous online child exploitation enterprises officials have ever seen. Tell us what we know about this online network. I think a lot of parents watching this right now have a pit in their stomach right now hearing about this.
It's true. It is the latest trend of child exploitation online, but probably the most horrific that we've ever seen. 764 actually is a shorthand for a zip code of a teenager who started this a few years ago. But that might sound innocuous, but what it is it's this loosely connected community of people on various platforms. They lure young people from Discord or Telegram or even Roblox, bring them into online spaces that glorify violence, mass shootings, gore. There are videos of people who get shot and who are dying, and it desensitizes these young people and then glorifies that act and gets them to actually harm themselves or others. It's just tragic, and the FBI is taking this very seriously. They're actually deploying counterterrorism agents to try to get a handle on this, because it is a global phenomenon that we are seeing, and it's playing out in so many communities around the country.
Okay, so I'll drop the links in the description box when we leave this evening. But I think everybody's pretty much to the same point that I'm at. We know that there's a network. We know that there's an issue. We know that they are surfacing in spaces where minors are reachable, in gaming adjacent servers, in the community servers that are held. They're even showing up in mental health themed spaces. So it's not just targeting gamers and the gaming community. It is also targeting our young people that are in spaces where they feel like they can go to talk about their mental health. We know that they're leveraging generally sexual images, self-harm content, the threats that they're sending out, humiliation, and obviously social pressure. The material is getting shared as quote unquote proof and currency, basically inside of the 764 network. They have what they call watch parties, and that's content that they sit in places like Watch Together or different places like Discord, where you can go into a room and all talk and all be in the same space and have a watch party of all the content that's being used to extort these victims, have a meeting, if you will. They're having what they call it's part of the evasion process, constant account churn. It's a server recreation. So today you're in a server that's called I don't know, Fortnite Gaming. Okay? And you've been in this server and you've done all the XYZ things in this server, and all of a sudden you get this message in your inbox that said there's been a name change to the server. So leave this server and join this one because we had a phishing attack or we had something happen. So they shut it down and they move to a new Discord server. They name change, or they will platform hop. They platform hop. Discord is the on-ramp. The other apps are like the back end, basically. That's scary. That is intrinsic. That is like, it's like, that's so scary. And it's so scary. Like, you're trying to get ahead of it, but they're churning it. They're taking their accounts and they're churning them over and recreating these servers. And the Discord's on the upside of it. And they're like, oh, no. Meet me over here on Instagram. And then I'll tell you where we're going to meet from there for whatever. You know, your parents are just trying to hold you down. Gosh. Yeah, thrift store hand-me-down. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Orange says, I love this community and how it has led me to you all, but still, I hate the internet. Let's go back to Little House on the Prairie days. I watched Little House on the Prairie so much. So freaking much. Rubber says, I want to say something. Hio is beautiful, and she looks like she could be my sister. Just needed to get that off my chest. Back to my couch with Meat and Lola. Thank you, Rubber. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Norma, people in remote areas only had the catalog for everything they needed. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll have to take your word for whatever that is, my love. Gosh. I need to get used to your new time now, Rubber. I keep missing the afternoon session. Rubber's just been coming in and out whenever she feels like it. She's just been doing the damn thing. Just whatever she wants to do. So we've got the targeting and how we get it, where they get the access from. We've got the grooming part or the leverage that they use. Then we got the network effect, the proof, what they do inside of it, the currency that they use against these people. Now we've got the evasion part of it. And then on the part of ideology, some members lean into being accelerationist or the extreme aesthetics. Right? Oh, you guys are cute. You guys are cute. So we talked a little bit about accelerationism and what that was and what it meant. So we're looking forward to, the 764 group is looking forward to the collapse of society. The language that they're using is not relatable. I saw that. Yeah, the Guthries are now offering $1 million for their mom. I did see that they also said they didn't want to do that at first because they were really worried that offering $1 million might offer a place to get the fake leads, et cetera, et cetera. So 2019 to 2020, that's prehistory. They were like smaller little ecosystems, maybe basically Discord and Telegram or any gaming platform, like way back in the beginning, right? 2019, 2020. So does that make sense? No, you're fine, Abellis, you're fine. To me, that makes sense. 2019 and 2020, 2019 into 2020, we were facing a whole different ball game, a whole different world at that time. So all of our kids, instead of being at school, A lot of them were doing what? Online learning, at home learning, parents trying to teach, or teachers trying to teach over the internet. So all of them were given avenues to use the internet or ways for them to get online in order to do their learning, their online learning during that time, during the C-19 days. And then in 2021, the first, okay, Jackie says, good night, all. I'm trying to go to bed a bit earlier, and it's 3 a.m., so I didn't make it tonight, obviously. Oh, I appreciate you coming in and spending your time with me. I appreciate that so much. You're fighting with the fresh bedding, and it didn't want to go on the bed. It happened. The cops told them no at the beginning. It's BS. The sheriff is about the Guthrie. Yeah, they told him they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to get a lot of false leads, from what I was told, or from what I read. It's a mess, an open online portal for our kids. Yeah, there's a children's book I recommend to my kids' internet. Our First Talk About Online Safety by Jillian Roberts. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you very much. Center for Missing Children Generative Artificial Intelligence Technology allows a user to create new images, videos, audio, and text based on user requests or prompts. Thank you. All right, I'm going to stretch, everybody, stretch. An hour and a half of this is pretty heavy. Make sure, if you would, like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Hopefully you do, and I appreciate it. An easy way to support the channel is the like and the subscribe, so I really, really appreciate that. If you're interested in grabbing a membership, go ahead. We're going to do a couple of members-only lives, and I think I have decided we're going to do some Patreon stuff. My original Epstein stuff is not put on hold. I'm just doing a little bit more research. And if you do need some Epstein content right now, Rubber Ramada has been covering that on a regular basis. And you can check that out over there. She's doing a lot of things over there. You need a palate cleanser? Let's go. You don't have to tell me twice. I'll do it. Give me a second. Let me find something. I like all of the stuff. Like all of the palette cleansers. Let's see. I really like this guy's channel. Let's go over here and hang out. Just hang out. No! Wow! Hold on! You caught me as I was looking at another page. You caught me as I was looking at another page. You're so freaking sweet. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You go over here. Okay. Oh my gosh, y'all are amazing. Abellas gifted 10 True Crime Guardian memberships. I'm so excited. Thank you very much, Abellas. I went to Brazak, Miss Anita, Marina Lazar, YouTube Inspector Gadget, MSME 7852, 420, Me Mom of 3, Cheerinator, Amber, Rayala, Kova, and GardenBot. GardenBot got a membership. Thank you so much, Abellas. What an amazing human being. I really, really, really appreciate you. And then Cindy, right behind that, gifted 5 True Crime Guardian memberships, and that went to Kelly Rego, Tempest, Autumn Renee, Insta Justice, Jenna Nicole. Thank you. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it went good. Yay. Thank you so much, Cindy. I really appreciate you.
Ho, ho, ho. Time for some Christmas magic. Here's a little present for you.
Christmas all year long here with the True Crime Guardians. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Cindy. for a palate cleanser. The candy I lost in my pajamas last night fell on the floor when I got out of bed today. Was it lost in your pajamas? Like, did it get stuck in your belly button and then you stood up and it like rolled out? Was it a nerd? Like nerd candies? I had peach sherbet as a palate cleanser. Sounds delicious. The live name is crazy. I knew this kid. He went to my school. There's so many people that have been coming in and have said that tonight. He must have been really well known. Is that, Aaron? Dang. Yeah, we're fixing to go over him. We've gone over the whole network and what is the damn thing? What is 764 and what that's about? And then we're about to go over what he did. This kid did some stuff. What peach sherbet? Where do I even get that? I have a peach addiction. I know, and your peach Red Bull is out down here. Is it out up there? Christmas all year round. Aaron, hello and welcome in. Thank you so much. You're in the vertical. My name is not Aaron, but it's just my favorite baseball player's name. Oh, okay. Well, what shall we call you? We call you AJP? We call you Pookie? We appreciate you being here regardless of your name. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, let me go back over here where I was. All right. Have one, maybe two videos in between. Katie. Okay. Thank you, Katie. Nice to meet you. Pookie. Call you Katie Pookie? Oh, not the nectarine one. The summer one is here. Oh, yeah. Cookie Baby. I love that. Or Pookie Baby. Oh, you can call it Cookie Baby and Pookie Baby. I love it. All right. Let's watch this.
Hey there. No.
So this burger has come across my For You page about 3 times. So I said, let's get started.
I know that's right. Ooh. That's on your nose.
Like if you can look at my double seasoning,
how about
that melanin sugar.
Brown sugar veins. I get high, I'll be little, don't know how to be hanging.
Now, adding your favorite type of
Audible.
relish, some of those cooked onions, seasoning, my favorite ingredient. And that has made me go from liking burger sauce to loving it. Let's taste and see what you need to adjust.
Oh, honey.
Please smash my hand. I made them into 2.5 ounce patties.
Feeling like I want my
only
bed.
about 1 pound of meat because you haven't been coming over.
Oh.
Both sides with some salt, garlic powder,
Garlic
and of course that
powder.
black pepper.
Like paper. The flip, nay, friend. I know that's right. If it ain't cheesing, we're leaving.
It ain't cheesing, we're leaving.
Don't assemble it like that more. Miriam, why would you show us this? My back won't never know peace. You didn't have to dress it up like this, Miriam. My God, today.
That looks so good.
Me. I'm going to answer. The church man is fixing the meals we're being attended.
I wish I had more meat. It's like,
Ooh, no cameras. I got to agree to spirit.
I'm not kidding when I say this is probably the best burger.
I believe you. Hey there.
He said the church man is ready and the members will be in attendance. You can't go wrong with Terry. You cannot go wrong. Oh, let's see if we can find one more and then we'll be back to it. Back to it then. Let's see. It's so exciting. Oh, yeah, here's one. He's not particularly fond of her cooking. He's not particularly fond of her cooking.
Hey there.
Use this for fish tacos.
Why you can't use it? Let me see it.
It's got the skin on it.
It ain't just a skin friend, it's freezer burn. Like I spent a minute day and a minute night in Antarctica. Oh, girl, give it back to the sea.
Well, I sure hope so.
Let it go back under the sea. I know that's right. Ooh, is it froze? Surely not. Police!
It said, police! Police! That is the best. Sometimes he'll go, SWAT! Yeah, it's Josh's mama. Yeah, she's terrible.
Is it Frost? Surely not. Police!
Maybe I thought all these things out.
Police. Just when I had a little hope, you snatched that away. What's up under there? You trying to get... look at the kitchen just running away. He's trying to get away.
So I can get the rest of them on this paint.
Whoa! Whoa! Swat!
It's as simple as that.
Swat! No, it ain't simple. It ain't nothing simple about it. It's giving very much difficulty. Confusion is what it's giving.
Like it's olive oil.
Well, it's got the soaking in.
Friend, we could have went without this lemon. You didn't have to put that on there.
Well,
but you
how long
did.
do you cook it for?
You cook it for about 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
You finna cook the out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that fish didn't go on for this. This nigga screaming.
Yeah.
You cooked. It looks ready is a strong word that you probably shouldn't have used.
I usually go for
Not just setting it up, friend, like it's you want to be on display. Child, you going to the prison in Mexico.
Oh, they might have to chop that down.
Uh-oh. Friend, you could have gone without doing this. Just when I thought that you had shocked me, you done all you could do. You done surprised me. Look at you, topping yourself. Put that makeup on that food. All that makeup.
Oh, you gonna melt the cheese?
I am.
Oh,
She needs to melt that pan.
getting fancy.
That's what she needs to melt. Melt it all the way down to where it's not usable.
What's the date on that?
I know that oven. Hate to see you coming, friend.
The what?
John, what?
You cannot use that.
Did you say 23?
No.
What you need cocktail sauce for? You got some shrimp.
Yes.
Wow.
Trying to decide if I want this one or that one.
You can eat them all. Because I'm full. But you know what? CIA! I need the CIA!
He said, I have filled to capacity. I have filled to capacity.
You're fat!
Can't have fish without cocktail sauce.
You could. The church van is broke down and the members won't be in attendance. Friend, I know you finna be on the toilet. Woo, my God, today. Hey there.
This is for fish tacos.
Oh my goodness, that is the best. There is not one single solitary video that he does that I do not derive some sort of dopamine rush from. I really, really enjoy his work. Really, really enjoy his work. Okay, so I think we've got the meaning, the origin, the deeper meaning, the threat assessment, all that kind of stuff for 764. I think we're pretty much wired in. Now we know what's going on. So let's get to the meat and the potatoes of who we want to talk about and why we actually are pulling all of this up. Come on now. Open up. Okay, so what drew my attention to begin with was a news article that I saw, and it took me here. My fridge is a snitch to my cat. I hit out a snack from the fridge, and it snitched to my cat. Yeah, it looked really gross. It looked really, really gross. So the Lake Charles resident and participant in a nihilistic violent extremist group indicted for stalking, threatening, and swatting a minor and her family, and for possessing CSAM, or child sexual abuse material. We talked a little bit about nihilism and the philosophical view behind the nihilism or nihilistic group is that life is meaningless. The moral values are baseless. The knowledge is impossible. So all of those views reject the basis of all of the ideas of regular people, of regular people with knowledge that don't believe that life is meaningless, that do believe in moral values and believe in a baseline for behavior, ethics, value, theory, metaphysics, all that kind of stuff. But Nihilism does not believe in that. And they believe that life is inherently meaningless and it lacks any higher purpose. And so therefore they use all of that, what I would consider to be an existential crisis of the mind to provoke other people into doing things that they wouldn't normally do. And this guy is one of them. So there's that. Boop. Are you guys able to see that? There we go. So on February 18th of 2026, today's the 24th. So what, last week? 18th? Last Wednesday, a federal grand jury in Lafayette returned 2 indictments against Carter Miles Ledoux and 19-year-old Lake Charles and oh, this is the guy for tomorrow. Hold on. This jerk is a different jerk. A different jerk, folks. Same group, different jerk. Hold on, let me pull his up. There we go. Same group, different jerk. There we go. Now we got the right jerk. That's sad. That's sad when we have way too many jerks to go over. Okay, this came out on Monday, February 23rd. A Pennsylvania man has been arrested and federally charged after grooming a girl who recently turned 13 years old to send him sexually explicit material of herself and images of self-harm over the internet, a pattern of abuse consistent with nihilistic, violent, extremist ideology that culminated in a law enforcement rescuing her at a Santa Clarita Valley motel. Matthew Edward Pysher, 18, of Bangor, Pennsylvania. Do you guys want to see what this whole handsome dude looks like? I'm going to show you. Look at this handsome dude. This handsome dude and what he was able to do. I'll leave you guys to look at the handsome dude while I read some of this. Matthew Edward Pysher, 18, of Bangor, Pennsylvania, was arrested late Friday in Castaic, California. Castaic. I looked up the word, I swear I did. And is expected to make his initial appearance this afternoon in the United States District Court in downtown Los Angeles. Pysher is charged in a federal criminal complaint with a travel with intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct, a felony punishable by up to 30 years in a federal prison. The facts charged in this case are chilling, said the first assistant United States Attorney Bill Esseley. If your children have access to use the internet, sadistic predators may have access to your kids. Law enforcement will continue to aggressively investigate and prosecute those who seek to harm children. We advise parents to keep their children offline. He's just saying just keep them offline altogether. The subject arrested this weekend is one of a growing number of alleged nihilistic violent extremists who prey on children and talk them into compromising sex acts and self-mutilation. All right, now let's go over what this douche canoe actually did. Open up. Open up again. There we go. Let me get through this ad and then I'll bring it up for you guys. It always likes to show us an ad first. Did you guys see that Rubber Ramada made a song? Seriously, what was it? I don't know. Rubber Ramada made a Suno song today called Across the Pond. It was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. If you haven't checked out Rubber Ramada, make sure you guys do that. All right, apparently I'm going to have to look this up a different way. There it goes. I don't know why this thing makes it so difficult for me, Apparently, I don't know what I'm doing. Technically challenged today. Don't know how to speak English. Don't know what I'm doing. All that good stuff. So I'm really glad that I've got a few of you here with me, and I really appreciate you hanging out. Okay, here's our genius right here.
A local 13-year-old girl is rescued from a Pennsylvania man who allegedly found her online and targeted her as part of a cult. I'm Colleen Sullivan in for Giovanna Lara.
Now, David Ono, law enforcement rescued the girl from a motel room over the weekend, saying she was with a man tied to a violent extremist group.
The group coerces and manipulates children into horrific acts. Eyewitness News reporter Bianca Bono has the disturbing details and the warning for parents.
A life-saving operation involving local and federal law enforcement in Castaic Friday, when a 13-year-old girl from the Northridge area was found with an 18-year-old man from Pennsylvania.
Okay, so I did say it right, Castaic. I just needed to be validated there. Thank you very much, Castaic. Douche canoe. Yeah, douche canoe. Do you say that up there in Minnesota? Well, it says, my opinion, kids will get on the internet no matter what. Instead, parents should explain this crap to them. Explain these people are not their friends and are very dangerous. Be honest with your kids. They're smart. I agree with being honest with your children. Thank you very much for sharing out Rubber Ramada's link, Cindy. You're wonderful for that. He doesn't sit straight on his neck. Yeah, it is kind of like, yeah, it is kind of weird, right? Southern is definitely not impressed.
On the verge of suicide.
One of the most twisted and disturbing ideas to crawl out of the internet.
Court documents say Matthew Pysher began messaging the girl on Discord 2 months ago, finding her on a server about mental health. But when he started messaging her privately, officials described deeply disturbing requests, grooming her into sending him sexually explicit.
So we've got this in the complaint that we're about to go over, but it says Piano Man. I like pretty much all of them. Depends on how deep, though. If I had to choose, I think deep styros to shallow beans are the best. I'll try my best when I do. Whatever, they were calling themselves. It looks like it was redacted. Here's an example from your pics, actually. And then, like Cindy said, they can use AI generative pictures and turn them into what they're looking for and what they're actually wanting the victim to do. And I agree with that. Some of them, you can't explain it to them, and they're going to ultimately do what they want to do anyway. He did have kind of evil eyes, doesn't he? You're on the phone. Your computer died a terrible death. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, thank you for coming back on your phone.
Images and encouraging her to send him pictures of her cutting herself.
You could see here in the final message, he tells her, you can go as deep or shallow as you want. I love scratches, cuts, and pretty much anything else.
The victim's mom discovered the messages and called police, but the situation escalated when the girl ran away and left behind a suicide note. Police able to track the Discord account to Pysher and found him in a Castaic motel room with the young girl, who police say he had cut, choked, assaulted, and made a plan to die by suicide together later that day.
The only thing more tragic would be as if we were reporting her death.
Investigators say Pysher's sadistic behavior is evidence of the nihilistic violent extremist ideology, similar to that of 764, a network of members that want to destroy civilized society, targeting children for sexual exploitation and self-harm. The FBI says they are investigating more than 450 cases involving the ideology, leaving parents with an urgent warning.
Any child with access to the internet is a sitting duck for these sick, deranged, and demonic individuals looking to harm your children.
And Pysher is being federally charged with travel with intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct, a felony punishable by up to 30 years in prison.
Which I hope he gets. In my opinion, that's where he needs to be. I'm nobody, but that's just my opinion. All right. Let me close all of these other windows. The last thing we'll look at tonight is going to be the complaints and some of the things that are in it. We're not going to read all 43 pages, but we're definitely going to look at most of them. Window, open up. Thank you. All right. So the only reason I'm saving the criminal complaint from the document to the last is because there's a lot of people that don't stay to read the document. So I wanted to make sure that we got all of the information out about, I guess they're calling him Pysher. I call him Fishy, but Pysher. I wanted to make sure that anybody who wasn't interested in reading the documents had the full context of what it was that we were doing here. So I really appreciate it. If you end up not staying or you end up going back and reading the document through the replay, I really appreciate everybody being here. There's so much more I want to do, so freaking much more I want to do. But as of right now, my grandmother's in the hospital, so I was so lucky to get to come home tonight and do this with you guys. So I just want to say thank you. Yeah, lock him up, Case One. That's where he needs to be. Oh, you got that black screen like it was bad? It was bad? Yeah, Piano Man. Yeah, Piano Man. All right, yeah, strong trigger warning. This is nasty. It's gross. Some of the things you see on TV are, I don't know. Anyway, the complaint is against Matthew Pysher, aka Piano Man. So we'll call him Piano Man. United States of America versus Piano Man, and this is a federal case. This is not a state case. It is not a local case. It is a federal case. It came on or about the 20th of February 2026 in Los Angeles in the Central District of California. Violated the code of traveling with intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct. Thank you so much, Cindy. I really appreciate that. You have to talk to the TV. What'd your TV do? Did it turn off? It didn't update automatically? The audacity. The audacity. All right, let's go down here a little further. Okay. Special agent with the FBI have been employed since 2023, currently assigned to the domestic terrorism and web. Can you guys see that? What about now? Can you guys see it? On my screen, it looks like it's white. I don't have anything over it, so it's kind of weird. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's not easy, no. Yes. Thank you for the stream. Thank you. It's very light, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know why that is. On over here, it's not. Maybe I can share this a different way. Let me see. Thank you, Case One. I really, really appreciate that. You guys are wonderful. Maybe it'll let me upload it. Slides and PDFs on my computer. Load the file. Let's do that. Let's upload it. No, he's not the one who started it. Bradley started it, but he's not the one who started it. Okay, that's processing and uploading. Eek. Well, maybe that's all true. Or maybe it is more simple that 764 is the first three numbers in the zip code for Stephenville, Texas, where it originated. But I see what you did there. I like that. It was good thinking. Rubber, are you hanging out in vertical? Who's hanging out in vertical? I think Michael's over here with us. Okay, very good. Oh, look, there it goes. But does it let you get closer to the document? I guess that's going to be how it's going to have to be. Hopefully you guys can see it. That sucks if you can't. Rubber's over there. Thank you, Rubber. You're both. I don't think it'll let me zoom. See, Rubber, this is what I was talking about, getting one of those projector things where you can see it. It's almost better with the light, I believe. Thank you. All right, let's try it like this again. We're just going to have to do it like this. Do the screen over here. Don't get me wrong, it could be that deep. I don't know. Is it showing now up over there, Rubber? It's very hard to see. It's very hard to see. So you guys will just have to. Anybody who wants the document, I'm going to put the document on Patreon as well. So if you want to go and read that, you definitely can do that. So I'm currently assigned to a domestic terrorism and weapons of mass destruction squad of the Los Angeles field office. Hey mods, I probably won't be able to see the chat, so just keep a watch out if you would. I really appreciate that. It shows web page, but not the docs. It's not showing it. I see it on my screen. Is it not showing over there? Should I just show that guy's beautiful face? Oh, there you go. I see it. It's just real little. Okay, thank you. Y'all tell me Corey Richards did not laugh in court today. I just saw something as I was trying to look at the... You'll have to let me know. Did Corey Richards laugh in court today? She's going to end up with a busted eye hole. Mind blown. Well, your intellect level is way above mine. I'm just going to have to follow along and take you at your word. I primarily investigate people who commit violent criminal acts in furtherance of their political or social ideology. During my career, I have led and participated in numerous criminal and national security investigations. You didn't see her laugh? Okay, good. Case one. Somebody's got a thumbnail up of her white ass laughing in the courtroom. I'm like, surely she was not that stupid. Surely she did not pull some fuck shit like that. She was laughing during the medical examiner's testimony? Oh my gosh. I may have to come back. I may have to come back and do a separate. Oh, that was a month ago. Okay. God. I'd be so angry if I saw that. The purpose of the affidavit is in support of a criminal complaint against an arrest warrant for Matthew, aka Piano Man, for a violation of Title 18, travel with intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct. It's also made in support of an application for warrants to search the following digital devices, the subject's devices, as further described in Attachment A. One black Samsung phone with IMEI number seized from the hotel room on February 20th, 2026. There's a lot of talk about gummies today. Oh, Lord. Grizzly was not happy. One Valve Steam Deck. A Valve Steam Deck. What do those look like? Oh, okay. All right. So a Valve Steam Deck. Wow. Okay. The requested search warrant seeks authorization to seize evidence, fruits, and instrumentalities of violations of the conspiracy sexual exploitation of children and attempted sexual exploitation of children, incitement of a minor and attempted incitement of a minor, distribution and receipt of child pornography, access with intent to view and possession of child pornography, travel with intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct, the subject offenses, as described more fully in Attachment B. Attachments A and B are incorporated herein by reference. I'll have to go back and watch. That sounds funny. The facts set forth in this affidavit are based on my personal observations, training and experience, and information obtained from various law enforcement personnel and witnesses. The affidavit is intended to show merely that there is sufficient probable cause for the requested warrant and does not purport to set forth all my knowledge of or investigation into this matter. Unless specifically indicated otherwise, all conversations and statements described in this affidavit are related in substance and in part only, and all dates and times are on or about those indicated. Background on nihilistic violent extremism, or NVE, and the 764 network's focus on targeting children for violent crime. Based on my training and experience and discussions with other FBI agents, I wonder if you could do, is there a dark mode? That's a good question. I never. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. See if I can figure this out. Yeah, I hope they do too. If she is guilty, they need to find her guilty. Menu. View. I always say where you can get dark mode, you definitely should. Display theme and select dark gray. Okay, display theme, dark gray. What did that help? It helped nothing. It helped nothing. Okay, it helped nothing. Cool. Nothing at all. I'll have to take your word for that, Abellis. I have to go back. Maybe I'll do a stream and just do the... I want to do the opening statements, and maybe I'll do a little bit of the trial. I'd kind of like to know what's going on. Everybody's been waiting so long for it. We've talked about it I don't know how many times. Okay. I understand the following about NVE and 764. NVEs are individuals who engage in criminal conduct within the United States and abroad in furtherance of political, social, or religious goals that derive primarily from a hatred of society at large and a desire to bring about its collapse by sowing indiscriminate chaos, destruction, and social instability. NVEs work individually or as part of a network with the goals of destroying civilized society through the corruption and exploitation of vulnerable populations, which often include minors. They have kids and they kept gummies above the kitchen fridge. I was like, that's the first place we'd look. Dr. Pepper was a physician. Oh, physician. I see what you did there. NVEs, both individually and as a network, systematically and methodically target vulnerable populations across the United States and the globe. NVEs frequently use social media communication platforms to connect with individuals and desensitize them to violence by, among other things, breaking down societal norms regarding engaging in violence, normalizing the possession, production, and sharing of child sexual abuse material and gore material, and otherwise corrupting and grooming those individuals towards committing future acts of violence, which is everything that we discussed earlier. Those individuals are targeted online, often through synchronized group chats. NVEs frequently conduct coordinated extortions of individuals by blackmailing them so they comply with the demands of the network. These demands vary and include, but are not limited to, self-mutilation, online and in-personal sexual acts, harm to animals, sexual exploitation of siblings and others, acts of violence, threats of violence, suicide, and murder. Historically, NVEs systematically targeted vulnerable individuals by grooming, extorting, coercing, and otherwise compelling through force or the threat of force the victims to mutilate themselves or do violence or threaten violence to others, and either film or photograph such activity. The members of the network have edited compilation photographs or videos of targeted individuals and share the photographs and videos on social media platforms for several reasons, including to gain notoriety amongst members of the network. For what, though? What a piece of shit. And spread fear among those targeted individuals for the purpose of accelerating the downfall of society. So you're doing all of this just to bring down society? You want to see nudes of young children in sexual positions for the downfall of society? That's what you want to do this for? Okay, Abellis, take your time. You guys are chilling over there anyway. I'm over here pissing myself off. NVEs have adopted various monikers to identify themselves. The networks have changed names over time, which has led to the creation of related networks. Although the network's names change and use a variety of different social media platforms, the core members and goal remains consistent and aligned with the overarching threat of NVE. 764 and related groups are NVEs who engage in criminal conduct within the United States and engage with other extremists abroad. The 764 network's accelerationist goals, which we talked about, include social unrest and the downfall of the current world order, including the United States government. Members of 764 work in concert with one another towards a common purpose of destroying civilized society through the corruption and exploitation of vulnerable populations, including our minors. It is pretty sickening. Thank you for that, Hannah. From at least in or around December 2025 until February 20th, 2026. Let that sink in. December of 2025 to February of 2026, mid-February of 2026. Even if it was the 1st of December, how many days did it take for him to convince this minor victim to go with him to a hotel? I'm flabbergasted. That's extremely fast. God. Piano Man groomed and encouraged minor victim 1 to send him sexually explicit material and images of self-harm over the internet. Among other things, Piano Man specifically encouraged minor victim 1 via chat messages to engage in acts of self-harm, including by establishing a Discord server where minor victim 1 could be filmed using blades to cut herself. Fuck my life, dude. Minor victim 1 recently turned 13 years old. This pattern of abuse culminated in Pysher's travel to Los Angeles, California from Bangor, Pennsylvania on February 20th, 2025. I agree, Cindy. Sad times, man. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I almost forgot about you, love. Let me pull that up. Wow. Piano Man says, hard to explain. I like the colors, first of all, LOL. I just think red is a pretty color, a very pretty color, and I like how blood looks on skin. I think blades are hot, and I like the idea of someone doing something like that for me. A big part is that last one, the fact that it's for me, makes me love it. Fuck, dude. I understand. Thank you for sharing this with me. I'll definitely keep it in mind next time. Next time, dude. That means she just didn't satisfy that itch for him. She didn't give him exactly what he needed. So there's going to be a next time. There's got to be a next time. She just didn't quite cut deep enough. It's disgusting. He traveled from Los Angeles, California from Bangor, Pennsylvania on February 20th, 2026 in order for Pysher to engage in sexual activity with minor victim 1. On February 20th, 2026, Pysher, along with a co-conspirator, picked minor victim 1 up from a location near her home and transported her to the Roadway Inn Motel in Castaic, California. Roadway Inn Motel. Castaic, California. Let's see where they were staying. Dude. Wow. What's your thought process on this hotel? 7 years ago, surely they've updated the TV by now, right? Agreed. Wonder how many there was. Ew. Oh my gosh, yeah, there's a stain up here. Oh gosh. No ma'am. No ma'am. Would you walk barefoot on that damn thing? I would never use that coffee pot. Cheap, stinky. Yeah, that's my first thoughts too. Terrible. I would never. I'm not even being shitty. Like, I would never. Especially if I walked in and be like, what is that? That's scary looking. This looks like one of them hotel that, yeah, it looks like a hotel that you walk into. Yeah, don't put no black light in there. It's one of the hotels that you would walk into and be like, in one of those movies, one of those scary movies, the No-Tell Motel. Oh, Lord. Let's see what it looks like outside. All right. Wow. Well, why is the picture all the way down here if it's over there? Look at that. The picture says it's over. Look, we got to drive. Now we in the right place. Best value. Ice and parking. So he had to pull in this little place right here, get himself a little hotel, get himself a little hotel room, and they're all outside. So, chances are nobody saw, right? Because he didn't have to come inside. Don't say. Content says it's off the 5 freeway by the Grapevine. You only stop to poo and eat and sleep and gas. I don't know. I don't know if I'd do any of those things in here. Maybe I guess if I were. Oh, there's a taco stand though. Tacos El Vaquero. We got food. So the area, Mike's Diner is right here. Hourly rate. Oh, God. Market, licor, tacos, burritos, tortas, birria, desayunos, fajitas. Oh, man, I'm getting hungry already. This is just such a weird place. Like, why here? Is it, like you said, because it's right off the highway, Angel? Right off the highway somewhere? So easy access, easy on and off. There's a big pilot right here. Or was. It looks like it might be. Oh, no, it's there still. Passaic Road. So it looks like construction and stuff. Wow. Yeah, because it was cheap. That makes sense. Big old pilot. Man, there's food on every corner in California. Well, at least in this city. Dang, bro. We would never starve. You see the price of that gas? $4.67. Jeez, I ain't seen that in Texas. Knock on wood, don't want to. Okay, so you guys get the picture of the area more or less. I can't imagine being my age and being going to that hotel, much less being 13. This hurts my heart. All right, back to it then. Anyway, he transported her to the Roadway Inn Motel in Castaic, California. After obtaining emergency disclosures and locating Piano Man at the Roadway Inn Motel, law enforcement entered the hotel room where they found minor victim 1 and Piano Man. Also inside the room, law enforcement found condoms, a knife, lubricant, razor blades, bloody tissues, an American Airlines boarding pass for flight number AA827 from Philadelphia to Los Angeles in Pysher's name. Tell me this, folks. Tell me this. Can you rent a car at 18? Can you rent a car at 18? Let me see. I just asked, can you rent a car in California from the airport at 18? Wow, the answer is stunning. Yes, it's possible to rent a car in California from an airport at 18, but it's uncommon, highly restrictive, and expensive. While the standard minimum age for the most major rental companies in California is 21, some, such as Fox Rent a Car, allow renters for ages 19 plus or 18 plus for active duty military. All you have to have is a credit card. Well, he had to go pick her up, so I can't imagine he was in an Uber. Minimum age is 21 for most rental agencies. So you can technically rent at 18. So he may have got away with it. Hell, we don't know. He could have had a fake ID. Let's keep going. We'll see what he says. I mean, he was able to get on the plane, so he obviously had an ID. Minor victim 1 spoke with law enforcement and told them that Pysher came to California to see her and that he had planned on committing suicide. Oh, God. That they had planned on committing suicide together, but were unable to do so before being found by law enforcement. Minor victim 1 also told law enforcement that she and Piano Man had engaged in sexual conduct and that Pysher had used a knife to repeatedly cut minor victim 1. You sure he was? I believe you. I believe you. Did he have, was it a round trip ticket? I just saw a boarding pass for flight number AA27 from Philadelphia to Los Angeles. It didn't say anything about a return, but that doesn't mean it's not. It just showed a boarding pass. You don't think he would have? That's absolutely a possibility. No. Who knows content? I mean, he could. He could have. Sometimes they don't write everything in these complaints. He very well could have. Excuse me. Wow. Based on Pysher's online activities, his coercion and enticement of minors to create self-harm videos, and my training and experience, I believe Pysher is associated with the nihilistic violent extremist ideology. Additionally, for the reasons discussed in this affidavit, I believe that Pysher's digital devices likely contain evidence related to the subject's offenses, including information about additional minor victims. Based on my review of law enforcement reports, conversations with other law enforcement agents, and my own knowledge of the investigation, I am aware of the following. Minor victim 1's mother contacts the FBI about online abuse of her minor daughter. On February 10th, 2026, February 10th, 10 days before, minor victim 1's mother contacted the FBI because she was concerned that minor victim... Fuck out of here. Okay, I got to read the rest of that before I gather judgment. Because she hadn't been abused by him physically in person 10 days before. So I'm gonna keep on reading and I'm gonna reserve judgment, but I'm already feeling anger. Yeah, I imagine. Imagine, Dubdoos. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate you being here. So on February 10th, 2026, minor victim one's mother contacted the FBI because she was concerned that minor victim one was being encouraged to harm herself by an individual named Matthew. According to minor victim one's mother, minor victim one met Matthew via an online platform called Discord. Minor victim one encountered Matthew on a Discord server related to individuals who were suffering from a mental illness. Minor victim one's mother told law enforcement that she had reviewed communications on minor victim one's digital devices in which, thank you so much. The very first part of the live, we kind of discussed what 764 was and everything. Before we got to Matthew, we spent a lot of time kind of diving into what the ideology of 764 is and what the nihilistic, what NVEs are. And that's kind of what we did over at the first part of the live. So feel free. I really appreciate you, Dub. Minor victim one's mother told law enforcement that she had reviewed communications on minor victim one's digital device in which Matthew had encouraged minor victim one to cut herself and engage in other acts of self-harm. Furthermore, minor victim one's mother had reviewed communications between minor victims one and Matthew, who also used the username, we know Piano Man, but I'm not sure what else there is. There might be another one. Oh, there it is. It didn't. I had to go to the second page. Piano Man, in which minor victim one told Matthew that she was 14 years old. You know, touche. I like that. Thank you. Thank you. Small tangent, Abella says, for the first time in 4 years, there are no sunspots on the sun or on my face. Content says, really, Abellis? Dub, hello. On February 20th, 2026, at approximately 11:30 a.m., I arrived at minor victim one's mother's home to pick up minor victim one's digital devices. Shortly after leaving the home, I received a call from minor victim one's mother who said that minor victim one's grandfather had found a suicide note from minor victim one and that she had run away from the home. Timeline here. So the 10th of February, the mother called the FBI to tell the FBI that she was worried that her daughter was being contacted by Matthew and encouraged to perform self-harm acts. So 10 days later, at 11:30 in the morning, the FBI goes to pick up the devices from the home. 10 days later. And after they leave and take her devices from the mother's house, the grandfather calls and says he found a suicide note from the victim that said she had run away and obviously intended to commit suicide if it's a suicide note, correct? It says that they met on Discord. According to this complaint. Law enforcement identifies Pysher as the abuser. Based on conversations with other law enforcement officers, I know that shortly after receiving the phone call from minor victim one's mother, law enforcement returned to the home. Upon arriving at the home, FBI Special Agent Ryan was handed a slip of paper by state authorities with a phone number ending in 1519. Local law enforcement then told Special Agent Sheeler that minor victim one's mother had found the slip of paper with the 1519 number in minor victim one's room. According to victim's mother, when she asked her daughter about the number, the victim became defensive and refused to answer any questions. Based on this exchange, law enforcement began to investigate the user of the 1519 number and whether they might be connected to victim's disappearance. February 10th, she calls the FBI. February 20th, they come out to get her devices. After leaving, grandfather calls, says the suicide note is here at the house. They go back to the mom's house, and mom hands them a piece of paper, which she did not do when they went to go pick up the devices, that had a number with the ending of 1519 on it, and said this might be connected to the person who might be encouraging my daughter to self-harm. Okay. After receiving the 1519 number, law enforcement submitted an emergency disclosure request to Google. I reviewed the results of the EDR, which showed the 1519 number was linked to two Gmail accounts, pianoman0269, convenient, at gmail.com, and Mr. MLG2733 at gmail.com. The EDR also showed that both email addresses were linked to Matthew Pysher, with addresses located in Bangor, Pennsylvania. I also reviewed IP records for both Gmail accounts, which showed logins for both accounts at IP addresses that resolved to Eastern Pennsylvania. Okay, Abellis, thank you. She needs to go to boot camp. Furthermore, I submitted an EDR to T-Mobile, which showed that the subscriber for the 1519 number was a Megan Pysher with a billing address in Quakertown, Pennsylvania. I reviewed location data disclosed pursuant to the EDR, which showed that the 1519 number had been in Eastern Pennsylvania on February 19th, but as of February 20th, the user of the telephone was located in Los Angeles, California. Lastly, I cross-referenced the details of the 1519 number and Matthew Pysher's name against the data provided by American Airlines and determined that a Matthew Pysher had traveled from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on flight AA827 to Los Angeles, California on February 20th. Based on these facts, I came to the conclusion that the individual referred to as Matthew by the victim's mother, who had been encouraging minor victim 1 to cut herself, had likely traveled from Pennsylvania to California in order to see minor victim 1, which is what made this case federal, right? Law enforcement. Hello? My headphones just went off. Hold on. I was thinking that too. Where the heck did he get all the money? Not that I'm listening to anything in my headphones at the moment, but they died. Here we go. Put those little babies back in. There we go. Law enforcement rescues minor victim 1 at a motel in Castaic, California, after she is sexually assaulted. Based upon location data from the 1519 number, I determined that the user of that number was in Castaic, California during the afternoon of February 20th. Based on my knowledge of the investigation, I know that law enforcement canvassed hotels in the Castaic area and were able to determine through video surveillance footage that Pysher had checked into the Roadway Inn motel and that minor victim was with Pysher at the time. At that point, management from the Roadway Inn motel gave law enforcement Pysher's room number. Based on conversations with law enforcement officials, I know that law enforcement subsequently entered Pysher's hotel room based on the danger to minor victim 1. Inside the room, law enforcement found minor victim 1 hiding in the bathroom, as well as a bottle of lubricant on the nightstand, a knife. Are you going to bed? All right, sweet pea. We'll see you next time. I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you for hanging out with me so long. 2.5 hours. We've been here a little longer than I normally am, but I really appreciate everybody hanging out. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't. Scratch, I'd really appreciate you. I know that law enforcement subsequently entered Pysher's hotel room based on the danger to minor victim 1. Inside the room, law enforcement found minor victim 1 hiding in the bathroom, as well as a bottle of lubricant on the nightstand, a knife, several razor blades, a bloody tissues, plural, as depicted on the following pages. Sorry if you guys are squeamish on blood. Bloody tissues in the trash can. Hiding in the bathroom. Yep. Among Pysher's personal items, law enforcement also found multiple condoms inside of a backpack. At that time, law enforcement also seized subjects' devices 1 and 2. Law enforcement found subject device 1 on a chair next to the bed, next to a Faraday bag. Based on my training and experience, thank you. Throw the voodoo dolls. I know Faraday bags are used to block electronic signals from phones. Huh. You learn something every day. I'm looking it up. Google's like, no, you may not. I don't know what you think you're searching for. Literally, Google is blocking my search for that. That's funny. Let's try again. What the heck? Right? What the heck do you need the condoms for? I agree with that. Why would you even need a condom if you're planning on killing yourself? Because these people do things that don't make no damn sense. Wow. I'm looking here to find one here. Faraday bags and foil, do they work? Wow, I don't know what. I guess I don't get out enough for this to be a thing for me. I'm just gonna bring it up here, just what I found here. Like apparently it's something you put your phone in and it stops your phone from being tracked. Wow. I really don't get out enough. I really don't. Shield cage, wallet, phone case for cell phone privacy. Anti-tracking, anti-spying. Wow. We do have lots of questions. Yeah. Lots of questions. Okay. Anyways, wow. Okay, so they found a Faraday bag based on the training and experience. I know Faraday bags are used to block electronic signals from phones. Wow. Subject device 2 was found on a desk, which was that Steam Deck thing that we saw inside the hotel room. Following her rescue, victim 1 spoke with medical and law enforcement professionals. I've reviewed a video recording of one of those conversations and report of the other and learned the following facts. Now, she's a minor, so we wouldn't even attempt to try to gather the body cam from this because we won't get it. We just won't get it. Oh, that's a good question, Cindy. Cindy wants to know if that's what the Virginia Guthrie kidnappers may have used to jam signals. You can use just regular tinfoil as well. And don't be telling all the secrets now. People will be out here doing that stuff. Minor victim 1 told law enforcement that she had first started talking with Pysher approximately 3 months ago via the social media platform Discord. On Discord, Pysher used the username Piano Man. According to minor victim 1, she had told Pysher she was 14 years old, and Pysher told her that he was 18 years old. During the time period they were chatting on Discord, Pysher pressured minor victim 1 to send him naked images of herself. Minor victim 1 ended up sending approximately 4 nude images of herself to Pysher at his direction. The victim said that Pysher had come to California on February 20th to see her. Minor victim 1 said she had left her home and met Pysher by a bridge near her house where Pysher was being driven by a female individual. You are spot on, content. The female individual then drove Pysher and minor victim 1 to the Roadway Inn motel. You are spot on. Either you're cheating, or you knew. Which was it? Tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Tell the truth.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Once inside the motel, Pysher cut minor victim 1 several times with a knife on her left and right forearms for approximately 15 minutes. After Pfizer was done cutting minor victim 1, a sock was used to stop the bleeding. Ew, whose freaking sock, bro? Come the fuck on, bro. First you take her to this nasty ass fucking... Are y'all there? Am I talking to myself? Okay, I didn't lose you. At least I got okay. I figured y'all all left. I wouldn't blame you. I'd leave hearing this shit. Run. This is crazy. Was that the third one, Hannah? Third one? Because they didn't even do that stuff on her channel. I'm kind of scrolling off to the side. I'll have to call Hannah about this later. Kiwis. Okay, good. Okay. Scared me now. I thought I was alone. So they were inside. He started cutting her forearms, and then he used his nasty ass freaking sock to stop the bleeding. Okay, that's where we're at. It's fucking disgusting. Afterwards, Pfizer had sexual intercourse with minor victim 1, even though minor victim 1 said she did not want to. During intercourse, Pfizer repeatedly choked her to the point that minor victim 1 could not speak. Minor victim 1 told law enforcement that Pfizer's plan was for them to go to the top of a big hotel and jump off together. Okay, sweet pea. Sleep sweet. Good night. We'll see you soon, Orange. Minor victim 1 is in fact 13 years and was 12 years old during the majority of the time she was speaking to Pfizer. Just FYI. Minor victim 1 told law enforcement that all the items inside the hotel room were Pfizer's, including the backpack in which the condoms were found. Seized communications show that Pfizer's groomed and abused minor victim 1 before traveling to California. Based on my review of communications between Piano Man and the minor victim, found on minor victim 1's cell phone, I know that Pfizer engaged in grooming activity, and that encouraged minor victim 1 to harm herself, including by cutting deep wounds into her body. For example, on January 24th of 2026, after minor victim 1 sent Pfizer photographs depicting multiple wounds on minor victim 1's arms, Pfizer wrote, and this is where we got our screenshot from content, I like the colors. I just think red is a very pretty color, and I like how blood looks on skin. Pfizer also told minor victim 1, the fact that she cut herself is for me and makes me love it. But you can't see at the very bottom of this because I can't scroll up. We'll bring this back over. It says, I understand. Thank you for sharing this with me. I'll definitely keep it in mind next time. Something is redacted here. Do you like depth? The text communications also show that Pfizer encouraged minor victim 1 to harm herself and gave minor victim 1 directions about how to cut herself, as depicted in the following screenshots. On the left side, it says, I like pretty much all of them, LOL. Depends on how deep, though. If I had to choose, I think deep styros to shallow beans are the best. The fuck? Oh man, I'll try my best when I do. Here's an example from your pictures, actually, and we talked about that. You can go as deep or shallow as you want. I love scratches, cuts, and pretty much anything else. Some are better at different times, too. I'm not picky. The response was, you want... I love scratches, cuts, and pretty much. I just want to be the best for you. Ha ha. Not without being sick to my stomach, Rubber. This is upsetting. I never had any girls, but I cannot imagine you families out there who've had little girls that have just like, jeez. Pysher admitted he traveled to California to meet with the victim. After entering the hotel room, I met Pysher, who agreed to speak with me after being read his Miranda rights, and I learned the following. Pysher traveled from Philadelphia to California on February 20th in order to see the victim. Pysher admitted to meeting the victim over the internet prior to coming to California. And Pysher said he did not buy anything while in California except for food and toothpaste. Pysher was amenable to the idea that Minum Victor 1 should commit suicide. Based on these admissions, I came to the conclusion that Pysher had traveled from Pennsylvania to California with the intent to engage in sexual activity with minor victim 1. In part, I came to this conclusion based on the fact that Pysher had likely brought condoms and lubricant with him from across the country and had not purchased them here in California, meaning that he had planned to engage in sexual acts with minor victim 1 before traveling to California. Based on my training, experience, and conversation with other law enforcement officers, I believe there is probable cause to establish that Pysher's activities are consistent with NVE ideology. Namely, I have come to this conclusion based on Pysher's demonstrated interest in cutting, including of minor victims such as minor victim 1, his use of Discord to recruit and groom minor victims, and his nihilistic ideation, including his encouragement to minor victim 1 to commit suicide. We're 2 hours and 45 minutes in, and I am going to stop sharing this just long enough for me to put something on so I may run to the restroom if you do not mind. And then we'll read the other half of that. What the heck is going on here? How are you guys feeling? Everybody okay? Are we okay? That's where we're going to go. That good? Okay, good. I tried to post that. Not sure why it's not doing it. Okay. Do. You're all ears? Okay, good. Very good. You guys make me laugh. We're good, dude. Okay. You guys indulge me for about a minute and a half. And I'll be right back.
The porch light hums, the night turns gold. Your shadow stitched to the dust I hold. A whisper floats on a Caroline wind. Don't let the fire die out again. I feel the echoes under my skin. The world keeps spinning, I'm caving in. You said dreams ain't meant to be tamed, but I'm still calling your name. If you hold on through the smoke and thunder, hold on till the dawn pulls us under. I can burn, I can break, but I won't fade tonight. If you hold on through the ashes and ember light.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for waiting for me. Sorry. I know I lose people. Don't you dare have a bathroom break. Don't you do it. I, I will take your word for what it was and how it was how it went. You good, dude? I'm good. I'm good now. I'm better. I've been waiting and I didn't want to get up because I want to get it done, but at the same time don't want to rush through. Thank you, Rubber. Thank you. You guys are amazing. What? All right. All right, we're on background on child exploitation offenses, computers, the internet, and definition of terms. In this affidavit, the terms minor, sexually explicit conduct, visual depiction, producing, and child pornography are defined as set forth in that clause. The term computer is defined as set forth in this clause. Based upon my training and experience in the investigation of child pornography and information related to me by other law enforcement officers, related? No, it said related. To me by other law enforcement officers involved in the investigation of child pornography, I know the following information about the use of computers with child pornography. Keep making me say that word, trying to get me canceled. Computers and computer technology have revolutionized the way in which child pornography is produced, distributed, and utilized. They can now produce both still and moving images directly from a common video camera and can convert those images into computer readable formats. We're about to get into Cindy's territory here with the AI. The use of digital technology has enabled child pornographers to electronically receive, distribute, and possess large numbers of child exploitation images and videos with other internet users worldwide. File storage. Computer users can choose their method of storing files either on a computer's hard drive, an external hard drive, a memory card, a USB thumb drive, a smartphone, or other digital media device, etc., locally, like on your phone or on your device, on virtual servers accessible from any digital device with an internet connection, like cloud storage, like Google Drive, for example. Where have we heard about Google Drive? I know that y'all remember. Computer users frequently transfer files from one location to another, such as from a phone to a computer or from cloud storage to an external hard drive. Computer users also often create backup or duplicate copies of their files. In this way, digital child pornography is extremely mobile, and such digital files are easily reproduced. Exactly, Cindy. I know who's paying attention. I know you're paying attention. I love your face. Extremely mobile, and such digital files are easily reproduced and transported. For example, with the click of a button, images and videos containing child pornography can be put onto external hard drives small enough to fit onto a keychain. Just as easily, these files can be copied onto compact discs or stored on mobile digital devices. I think you guys get the point here. You can also store the stuff on the internet. It's not online service and has no real central hub. Keep going here. You guys are smarts. So I know you know all this stuff. You know what the IP address is about. You know what a chat is. You know what sexually explicit material is. You know what computer hardware is. Computer passwords, I'm sure you know what those are. You know what internet service providers are. Log files are records that automatically produced by your computer program, so that unless you know how to get those off, they're just kind of like running in the background. Or web logs, also remote computers, etc. Know what you have on there. Oh gosh, sexually explicit conduct defined in the statute means actually or simulated sexual intercourse, including genital, oral genital, anal genital, or oral anal, whether between persons of the same or opposite sex, bestiality, masturbation, sadistic or masochistic abuse, or lascivious exhibition of the anus, genitals, or pubic area of any person. A storage medium or storage device is any physical object upon which computer data can be recorded. Hard disks, RAM, floppy disks. Floppy disk, I don't know when the last time I saw a floppy disk was. Let's keep on going. I like their definitions of all this stuff. They want to make sure we know what's going on, don't they? Individuals who have a sexual interest in children or images of children may receive sexual gratification, stimulation, and satisfaction from contact with children or from fantasies they may have viewing children engaged in sexual activity or in sexually suggestive poses, such as in person or photographs or in other visual media or from literature describing such activity. These individuals often maintain possession of these items for long periods of time and keep their collections in numerous places, in digital devices, in their homes, in their cars, in their workplaces, or on their person. Individuals who have a sexual interest in children or images of children also may correspond with and or meet others to share information and materials. I have never in my life thought, oh, let's go get a group together to look at child, like CSAM. Like never in my mind, like what? You guys get storage units. Yeah, you know. How do you talk? Do you tell your buddies at the bar? You're just like, hey, let's go and sit at home on the couch and look at this stuff together. The fuck? Lowest of lows, bro. Conceal such correspondence as they do their sexually explicit material. Often maintain lists of names, addresses, and telephone numbers of individuals with whom they have been in contact and who share the same interest in child pornography. So y'all you got the child P friends? Like the fucking friends unit? These individuals often maintain possession of these items for long periods of time. Bro, y'all are some fucked up individuals. Right, Cindy? Fucked up individuals. Based on my this is the training and experience on digital devices. I think this is just telling them why they don't disappear, why the people think that they do disappear when they do not. Forensic methods may uncover electronic files or remnants of such files months or even years after the files have been downloaded, deleted, or viewed via the internet. Normally, when a person deletes a file on a computer, the data contained in the file does not disappear. Rather, the data remains on the hard drive until overwritten by new data, which may only occur after a long period of time. Similarly, files viewed on the internet are often automatically downloaded into a temporary directory or cache that are only overwritten as they are replaced with more recently downloaded or viewed content, and may also be recoverable months or years later. Digital devices often contain electronic evidence related to a crime, the device's user, or the existence of evidence in other locations. How the device has been used, what has been used for, who has used it, and who has been responsible for creating or maintaining records. That's how they call it. Yeah. Oh, I haven't thought about that guy in a long time. The Subway sandwich guy. Yep. Yeah, how would that conversation even start? Like, hey, my pedo friends. Yeah, I forgot about him too. I like the way that they're explaining this. If somebody didn't know what all of these things mean, that it actually explains it in the complaint. Talks about the biometrics on the phone. Wow. Okay, so this is for the attachments, the devices that they're searching. The digital devices that are currently maintained in the custody of the FBI was his black Samsung phone and his Valve Steam Deck, and then her phone. Oh, God. The items to be seized are evidence, contrabands. We already read about that. That's for the attachments. So this is just the dot in the I's and the cross in the T's here. The search team will conduct the search only by using search protocols. Hidden and encrypted. So they're just searching things that might be hidden or encrypted on the phones. That's basically it. So that was the reason for their warrants and stuff. Wow. So we got the gist of what happened and why it happened. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, this was just the one guy. So now I've got 3 other names that we've got to figure out about and look up their stuff. Of course, this was a minor, so we'll never see the body cam or anything on this. We might see a couple more, we might see paperwork come out being as he's older, but a lot of stuff is going to be redacted for the minor, which is fine. You guys have been here with me so long tonight. I'm so appreciative. We've been here 3 whole hours. I miss you guys when I'm not here. So I know at some point in time tomorrow, Grandma's likely going to get out of the hospital. So I'm not 100% sure if I'll be back tomorrow or if it'll be the day after. But either way, but that's where we're going to land tonight. And we went from the origin and the structure of the 764 to what law enforcement is actually alleging in the Pysher filings, Piano Man's filings. Most importantly, how these ecosystems keep reproducing, because they're not just one group. They keep replicating like in a pipeline, right? So I just really appreciate it. If you guys stayed with me through the long stream, I genuinely thank you. I know the topics are heavy. It's not fun. It is true crime, but it matters. And the only way to cover it, responsibly is to try to do it with some document-based factual evidence. So I like doing it like that with you guys, and I appreciate it. If you want me to keep tracking the case or pulling the docket updates, just let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you. Like the stream on your way out if you would. Subscribe if you're new. If you want the documents, like I said, I'm going to put those on Patreon and post those so you can come check that out in the Patreon links. Mods, thank you for holding it down. And to all the longtime guardians, all the new folks who just found the channel, welcome. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one, guys. And thank you as always for hanging with Hio. You guys are amazing. I'm going to go out with our song, and I will see you guys as soon as I can.
We found the flame in the silence when the world forgot our names. Whispers turned to promise. In the dark we stayed the same. Ashes carried stories, falling stars and sleepless nights. Every scar became our glory, every shadow fed the light. We are the ones who guard the fire, through the smoke and through the fight, bound by truth, by heart, by wire. We keep the echoes burning bright. No crown, no fame, no higher name, just sparks that cut the endless night. We are the guardians of firelight. Broken glass and faded letters. Truth is heavy but it sings. In the quiet we are tethered by the warmth that justice brings. We don't bow to false horizons. We don't fade when others hide. We are born from fallen icons. We are flames that never die. If the light should fade away, we'll breathe it back, we'll make it stay. Every tear's a spark in gray. We guard the light. We guard the flame. We are the ones who guard the fire. Through the smoke and through the fight. Bound by truth, by heart, by wire. We keep the echoes burning bright. No crown, no fame, no higher name, just sparks that cut the endless night. We are the guardians of fire.